1. Hello again, welcome to Canary Cast. We're joined by Jacob to discuss Max Aarons. Jacob, how are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. How are you yourself?
Not too bad. What a whirlwind of news. Max Aarons is going to Barcelona, for a loan with no obligation to buy, then to Bayern, but now back to Barcelona with an obligation to buy for about 30 million. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? You kind of see all these rumours flying around. They're also linked with Dest from Ajax, so it could be an interesting last couple of weeks. I think it's just brilliant in general that Norwich kind of produced a product in general, and Daniel Farke has kind of moulded this young lad to become even just linked with Barcelona. That it's incredible, really. You'd never expect it. It's like Football Manager kind of world, isn't it? You wouldn't expect it.
It's a very odd one because you would have never thought in this modern era that there would be a direct transfer from Norwich to Barcelona without it being like in FIFA 20. So let's go over pretty much what the deal is. There's a couple of sources reporting that it's a 5-year deal within the region of £20 million. Is that sort of what you were expecting for Max Aarons?
I would like more than what we got for Jamal Lewis. So I'm guessing Jamal Lewis is going to get up to around 20 million when Newcastle eventually sell him on. For me, Max Aarons is 25-30 million because he's a more rounded player. Barca are obviously struggling with the money, and you can't really deny. Like I've seen, we all kind of shown you and Joe in the group chat earlier about Norwich fans not being happy that we're still a selling club, etc. You can't say no to Barcelona. They're the biggest club in the world.
Every club is a selling club compared to Barcelona, yes. Aren't they?
Spot on. And if they want him, they get him. That's the only thing, isn't it? I know, obviously, their finances are crippling and their whole kind of presidential election, Bertomeu is not popular there with Messi or anyone really at Barcelona at the moment. But it's still a massive club. And just imagine, I know he's been playing with the Norwich Messi in terms of Emi Buendia, but the actual Messi, that's just crazy to think that someone who's been playing at Norwich could be playing with the best player of all time.
He would, if he does sign, he would be excluding the one appearance from, I forget his name, who now is on loan at Oxford United. He'd be the first English player to play there since Gary Lineker, which is a hell of an accolade, hell of a stat, because, and if he goes straight into that first team, that's a hell of a coup for Brits abroad, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing, and they probably do need a right back at the moment. Obviously, they've literally just seen Semedo go to Wolves, so they do need a right back there.
Yeah.
I know Sergio Roberto can play there, but it's a bit of a square peg and round hole situation. And it's just an incredible opportunity for him, isn't it? That is really the creme de la creme. He can only improve, really. Playing with players like that, I know, they're not what they were, kind of powerhouse-wise, and potentially Bayern could be a move if Dest does go to Barcelona, but either one would be an incredible move for him.
It would be interesting to see what sort of links this forges with Barcelona as well, because these sort of transfers do start relationships between clubs. We've seen that before. I wonder if there might be a bit of movement in between clubs. Some ex-Barcelona stars in Norfolk would be quite funny.
Messi's off next year, isn't he? So instead of going to Pep, he'll come play park ball.
Lovely.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
We'll have the Norfolk Messi and Messi. Let's have a look through Max Aarons' career. His debut against Luton, all the way up to a transfer to Barcelona. What have you made of him, his strengths and his weaknesses?
Well, yeah, so I've watched his first very game. I know you said Luton in the pre-season, but his first proper one was Stevenage in the Cup. I remember watching him on that game. I believe he was playing left back at the time, and first thing was first. He's quite small, but he was so efficient with the way he was playing, just very simple. And the thing that's always amazed me about Max Aarons is no matter what his level is, he's not really changed his game that much in terms of it's never been overcomplicated. It's never been a trick for trick's sake. Todd Cantwell, Jamal Lewis that are kind of synonymous with the old step overs and all of that sort of thing. Max is just a very bog standard right back who will go down the line if he can and try and cross the ball if he's allowed to, or cut back. That's probably his assists and goals aren't the best, but then in a team last season where team goals were not great anyway, I'm not too surprised at that. I think he's got all the raw talents there, hasn't he? He's got pace to get himself out of trouble. And I can remember one main mistake from Max Aarons in his whole career, and that's Nottingham Forest at home when we drew that crazy game 3-3. And for for a 20-year-old lad now to have had almost 2.5 seasons, we'll say, in the first team, to be able to say one real mistake is on him, that's incredible consistency, really.
And he's got a lot of movement to improve as well. And you imagine the best place to do that would be a Bayern or a Barcelona. You
couldn't say no, could you?
No, certainly not. His actual goal involvements for an attacking fullback haven't been stellar, but they've been consistent. Where do you think he could improve, and how will he improve depending on if he goes to Barcelona or, say, Bayern?
Well, he's small, isn't he? Small in stature, so they do teams in the Championship and did see in the Premier League last season did like to aim at him, crosses, and the big man would go on to him at the back post. So defensively, he can still improve slightly. There is still body positions where he does look a little bit weak, and in the jump, he's not always the strongest. For me, he does like to back off a lot. I remember us covering the Newcastle game where Alan Saint-Maximin was running at him and was like, Max, close him. And but he does like to kind of throw his body in at the last minute, which he is very good at. For me, I'd like to see him step up a little bit at times, take it on the wingers and just kind of go in a bit harder. But to be fair, Barcelona, they're not really that famous for defending well anyway. Like the centre-backs play good football and the full-backs attack. So I imagine it's just a big step up Norwich style. Like instead of Championship where you dominate the ball, you're at Barcelona where you dominate the ball. And Spanish football, again, is not known for defensive solidity, is it? It's more known for flair and kind of attacking football. So to be fair, his career's never going to stall or go backwards in terms of his performance while playing with those players. It could stall in terms of not playing as much, but Barcelona it's a perfect move right now because they're not in the perfect shape where you'd say they've got superstars everywhere. They're very reliant on Ter Stegen in goal and Messi obviously still. So it could be part of a revolution. If he goes to Bayern Munich, wow, that's an incredible team. I think they're more looking at a backup for Benjamin Pavard, and Joshua Kimmich sometimes play there, but I think he's more preferred to the central midfield role. He's kind of made that his own now. So, but again, backup for Pavard in terms of, wow, that Bayern team at the moment are probably the most complete team in Europe. What a complete kind of amazing move that would be for him.
And Max Aaron's going from Championship winners' medals to Champions League winners' medals would be a hell of a difference.
It's got to make you proud as well as a Norwich fan.
Yeah,
I know, like we're saying, that in terms of, I don't want to see anyone move. I'd love to see Max Aaron stay for his whole career. But for a move like this, it makes me proud as a Norwich supporter to have seen him start at the very start, that first ever game, to then go to the level he's at now. Yeah, it will be fantastic.
And just the difference in seeing, an academy product go from little old Norwich to literally the biggest of big leagues would be insane. I can't think of many other players who've done that. Let's go back to Norwich. We've obviously spoken a lot about Max Aaron's going to, but let's have a look at the options if he does go for Norwich, of which there aren't many.
Well, so yes, we don't really have. If he does go, we have Barley Mumba, who has never played right back in the Championship before or in any kind of league. They see him as a right back. He did look good against Luton in the cup, but you can't guarantee that. And you've got injury-prone Sam Byram, who on his day is good, but you need someone who's more on his day. And then left back, the strange decision to let Sam McCallum go. I'm not too sure about that. It still confuses me. And leave Xavi Quintería there, who's looked good, but hasn't been tested massively yet. I think Bournemouth on Sunday will be more of a test to see what his actual ability is like. In terms of Max Aaron's, Norwich will know about this. Tottenham did bid a few months ago. You know they're interested. So, and for me, in my mind, Max Aaron was, along with Emi Buendia, the one that I thought was definitely gone. I'm surprised he's still here now. And obviously Barca, I think the personal terms have been agreed a little longer than obviously just yesterday or last week. I think it's been agreed quite a while ago. So it's just in terms of can they move it. In terms of replacements, we do need one. So do you get someone who can play right back and left back?
Yeah.
Or are we looking at potentially a 5 at the back, 3 centre-backs, and then wing-backs with Placheta and Onel, Quintería on the left, and Barley Mumba as backup for those wing-backs? I'm not too sure, because I don't see why you let Placheta play left wing-back when Sam McCallum's been playing there his whole career. So I think a solid back 4 at the moment will be the case. I like Romeo from Millwall. Nico Williams from Liverpool, I'm not too sure what he's saying. And then there's Garbo from Coventry, who was, I think, very highly rated last season in League One. I'm not sure if he won Player of the Season for them, but definitely highly rated for them. They really did like his performances and just kind of flourished last season when they won the Championship. They play a similar style. He's very attacking, only 24. But at the end of the day, I do trust Stuart Webber, Kieran Scott, all of the recruitment team. They were known that Aarons was on the list of big clubs for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I'd be surprised if there wasn't a replacement. If there isn't, I would be slightly worried, to be honest.
It is an area that I think that is probably, if he goes, is now the weakest of the lot. And I think some of the suggestions you've made are, well, they're not Barcelona levels, but they're up there with worthy replacements for a championship.
I do worry, though. I do worry, and I did tweet it yesterday. I've seen Daniel Farke say Lucas Rupp can play fullback. And it would not surprise me if Lucas Rupp was back up with Barley Mumba being first choice up until January to see what Sam Byram's levels are. But then I'd still say you need someone at left back. I'm not like I was on the second tier podcast the other day and had a Middlesbrough fan on, and he said Ben Gibson is comfortable at left back. But I don't want someone that's comfortable at left back. I want Ben Gibson in his natural position. I want players in their natural positions. I don't want square pegs in round holes. You know, we say it a lot. You've got better, suitable backup. We've got two players in every position, I'd say, everywhere else, quality-wise, maybe apart from goalkeeper. But because I don't rate Michael McGovern at championship level.
Really?
But for left-back, right-back, I'm not so sure. I think that's such a key area of our game as well. Like, you can't have a player who doesn't know that position well enough because they're so attacking. They play such a key role in maintaining the width, even though we don't always use them effectively. It's such a big part in Daniel Farke's game. For 46 games, you're not going to be able to have Javi Quintier and potentially Barley Mumba at every game. It's just not going to work. So I'd say there has to be someone brought in.
Because plenty of pundits have said that they thought the Norwich signings are done. We're pretty much just preparing for outgoings. I wonder if they didn't expect a lot of the outgoings to happen the way they did, and they do seem to have been a bit flat-footed in this one because there's not really a replacement, and if they are trusting Sam Byram to plug that hole, it's
when he comes back, it's a risk,
very odd decision from them. So I wonder if they will dip back in, maybe go for a loan move, because it is something that, and it also depends on how they see themselves doing as well, because if they are going to go for a title push, which it looks like they're prepared for, then they certainly need to do it because they can't trust the players that they have in those positions who look like they are signings more for the future than for the now.
I guess it just depends if you're a half full or half empty kind of man or supporter in general. In terms of when Max Aarons played, he'd never played a proper kind of first team game before Ipswich in the league, and we threw him in, and I'd say he's an anomaly in terms of the general rule where you're not going to get that consistency. Yeah. Barley Mumba has not played football at all, not properly. Like in the last 3 seasons, he's been very bit part, and then last season wasn't rated. He went to South Shields, which is so low down the pyramid. For him to then be first choice right back in the Championship, I think that's. I like the look of him, but I think that's such a risk. Like, if one mistake can potentially make him very, very nervous. If we don't click like we did those 2 seasons ago, where Max Aarons, he only knew about winning, he only knew forward-thinking ways. We saw last season with our team, if we go on a run of losses, like the team's confidence just goes. I'm not expecting us to lose that many in the Championship, but Barley Mumba could make one mistake and then not feel as play his natural game as it was. And I don't think he's fully at right back level. Like he's not a right back. He's not played right back at all. So at least Max Aarons in every age group has been a fullback. For me, it's too much of a risk to take. And I like we said earlier, I know I'm just repeating myself now, I'll be absolutely amazed if we don't replace Max, if he does go.
Well, in Rupp we trust, but that'll have to do for this video because otherwise we'll probably be talking about the replacements forever. Thanks for watching if you've got this far. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Do you know only 20% of our watchers are subscribed? So if you're part of that other massive chunk of subscribers or viewers that aren't subscribed, do give us a subscribe.
Very close to 200 now as well.
Yeah,
we want to get to that, and then we can go have a drink and celebrate about it. Social distance.
Yeah, and only till 10 o'clock. So
on curfew, yeah.
Right, we shall see you in the next video, and until next time, peace.
Laters.
Hi guys, hope you're all well. Hope you enjoyed the latest Canary Cast video. Just here today to talk to you about FansBet and our offer with them. We've got a 50% deposit up to £100 when you get signed up with them. So really hope you can do that. Look at the links in the description and hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and see you again soon. Kill me.